Hey there, all you sibling people, and welcome back. You're listening to Sisters Show Me How, the podcast, a place where we help you talk through all the real rough shit. I'm Ramblin' Rick, host of Sisters Show Me How, and your how-to sister.
I'm Word Vomit Vic.
That's hot.
Co-host of Sisters Show Me How and your other how-to sister.
I'm Chatty Cat, co-host of Sister Show Me How, and your other how-to sister.
Okay, sibling people, so here's the question for the day. Language is a superpower. Agree or disagree?
For sure, agree.
Okay, on what aspects?
You can do so much by just like convincing someone of something.
The power of persuasion.
Yeah. I'm like, it's done many things.
I agree.
Yeah. I think absolutely. Yeah. I mean, I could fall for a lot of stuff. Like, if you word it right. Yeah, it's probably going to work. I am your target audience. If you're advertising something, I'm waiting.
Sell to me. I will give you my money.
Yeah. So
just take it. I don't even.
I love your ads. I love all of them. I love them.
Yeah, I think beyond the power of persuasion, I think that language is a superpower in the way that it allows us to express ourselves also, and the way that it allows us to paint a picture of an experience and relay that in more aspects than just, like, you can visually explain something, you can emotionally explain something, you can have nuance with language, you know what I mean? So I think it shapes our whole way of seeing things, and that's why I think it's a superpower. So agree. If you disagree, you may as well just go to the next episode now, because we're just going to explain why we think it's a great superpower. So
Echo chamber.
Woo! So today we are talking about your words and how you use them. What is the importance of precision of language? How do I make sure I'm saying what I mean? And how do I make sure that I'm using the great power of my words with the great responsibility that they deserve? Let's talk about it. Okay, so just to clarify, what do I mean by voice? I mean all of the words that you use to express yourself. All of them. Specifically the words you use to express yourself.
Specifically what I just said. Okay?
So why is language so important? Fun fact, today there are some 7,000 human languages that exist, and each one of them exists within its own frequency. Yeah, the American dialect is actually in a higher frequency than like the Germanic dialect, which just means that like we hold our tones in separate noise decibels, essentially.
Weird.
I know.
I can see that though.
Yeah, there was a whole chart that I found whenever I was looking at this, and it showed the graph of like each different language and where their frequency laid.
Now, would that be because of things like where they're surviving at, like as a people, and like the circumstances around them create?
I would assume so.
I would think it would be out of necessity, right? For any of them. If you're talking really high or if you have to talk really low, you know, like just learning what your environment demands.
Yeah, you're probably right. That's how humans tend to be.
Weird.
We are weird. So, the reason that there's a few reasons why language is so important. One of them is that communication is expression. Cognitive language communicating, or talking for short, allows us to share ideas, thoughts, and feelings with others. It's a part of how we express ourselves, our needs, our wants, and our identity to everyone who is external. So, I mean, obviously you don't need language to communicate with yourself because you know how you're thinking, feeling, and vibrating. But in order to communicate those with other people, language. Bam. Communication also affects our emotions. Give sorrow words. The grief that does not speak whispers the fraught heart and bids it break. That's Shakespeare.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
That was Shakespeare, baby.
Chills. Everyone's got chills.
I've never seen that better.
It was from Macbeth.
Wow, yeah.
Our words and emotions are interconnected and they heavily influence one another. I feel like that goes without saying, but because we're talking about emotions, we're going to say it anyways. Did you know that every time we have an emotional experience, the neural regions that process semantics also get involved? So there's a reason when I say that your words and your emotions are, I'm not just giving you some frivolous tree hugging bullshit, okay? This is science. We come with facts. For example, our friends at the Bond Institute state that when people give words to negative emotions, they regulate their emotional state and calm themselves down. This is actually physically detectable in our brain. Reactivity in the amygdala, which plays a key role in processing emotional stimulus and reactions, decreases when someone labels a negative emotional experience. However, that can also have a reverse effect. Every part of nature knows nuance, okay? That's why black and white bullshit does not work in real life, because nature knows nuance. When we give voice to negative experiences repeatedly, we crystallize those moments within our brain. And our brain is an addict to everything, regardless of whether or not it's beneficial to us. And so when we crystallize those negative experiences within our brain will get addicted to them and keep repeating them and keep repeating them and keep repeating them. And that forms more bad crystallized chemical emotions. Because again, your emotions are at their base level just a chemical that goes through your brain. Every single one of them has a different chemical makeup. Science, guys, again. Okay. So they say that getting stuck in these interpretations makes it more difficult to transform them, which is particularly detrimental for negative events. So again, if you keep perpetuating that and you keep giving voice to those things, you are giving it more life and you are making that chemical crystallize in your brain, which makes it harder to undo it afterwards. So yes, we want to say fuck when we stub our toe and do it because it will make you feel better, but we don't want to say I stubbed my toe and that ruined my whole fucking day. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Because
I know some people like that.
yeah.
And it like ruins their whole day.
Sometimes
Yeah.
I'm like that.
Right.
I have an airhead and I just let that dye ruin
Let
my
that
whole day.
sweet red 40. What is blue? Which one's that?
30 something, I think.
God.
And then yellow 5, I don't know. I don't know.
I hate
Oh, we're going to
the
get into
entity.
that. We're going to get into that. Come back in season 3 and we'll have a whole fucking spiel about food.
Yeah.
I haven't decided if it's going to be a month-long thing yet. Maybe it'll be the whole fucking season.
It could be.
It literally could be.
It could be. I just don't want to depress us that much. So maybe
Yeah.
just a month. Maybe we'll just do 2
You could have some
episodes.
fun things in there.
Right? Why sugar is fun.
Yeah. Eat one of those giant pixie sticks.
Oh my god.
I think those were at like Six Flags or something. Do you remember that?
To
yeah.
us barfing in the
You know the toddlers and tiaras where they make those like that go-go juice where it's
Oh
like
my
Mountain Dew
God.
and Pixie Sticks?
The
That
fact
show
it's
was
called
child abuse.
No, go-go juice.
Go-go juice?
Stuff like yeah, they make up different names for it to like hide what it is. They're literally giving their kids Mountain Dew and Pixie Sticks combined so they'll perform well.
Wow.
That's
Anyways,
abuse.
You may as well just give them cocaine at that
No,
point.
Truly.
You may
Here's
as
a
well.
bump. Get out there.
Go shake that ass.
With their little veneers that they have, full adult teeth. Ugh, it freaks me out.
It's weird.
Are you going to be a
Pageantry is
pageant
weird.
mom? You're like, I have something to tell you guys.
I'm like, guys, wait, no.
She's not already in pageants.
Yeah, no, definitely not. Anyways, we're talking about what?
Okay, so some examples of how communication affect our emotions in a real world setting. Here's the difference between being mentally ill and having a mental illness. One of these is a stigmatized identity, and the other is simply a diagnosis. It's not who you are, it's just an aspect of your being. The difference between I can't and I still need to learn to do that. One of these is a lame-ass bullshit excuse. I can't. That one is the excuse. I can't let there be any anonymity in that one. The other one... Where did I go? The other one is an acknowledgement of the lesson that still needs attention. That we can deal with. I can't, we can't deal with. I'm sorry, we choose not to deal with it. We could, we just don't want to. Another one, the difference between my partner helps me with the house chores and my partner and I share the house load. One of these establishes singular responsibility on one individual to do all of the things. The other one represents that we both live in this house, we both shit in this house, we will both clean this house, and it is both of our shared responsibility to do so. That's why that's important. Another reason language is so important, communication affects our health. Negative self-talk can have a wilting effect on your mind, body, and spirit. Just think about it like this. Negative self-talk leads to a loss in confidence. Loss in confidence leads to a lack of showing up for yourself. And when you stop showing up for yourself, you stop taking care of yourself. This cycle drives more negative self-talk, continuing a depletion of self-confidence. It's a cycle that feeds and repeats itself. As within, so without. If you're shit-talking on yourself, you will shit-talk your environment, you will shit-talk your friends, you will shit-talk all of your efforts. Therefore, you have a shitty environment because you talk to yourself shitty. You created a shitty environment within, you will create a shitty environment without. That's why self-talk is so fucking important. When you sit here and you say, oh, I'm a loser, then you are. Then you may as well be because you just created an environment that makes you a loser. There's a reason we're doing an episode on this. I could go all fucking day.
Self-fulfilling prophecy is not a joke.
It's real life.
Yeah.
It's real life. The entire society that you live in, I don't care what continent you are on, I don't care what society you live in, it is made up. Somebody decided that these were the rules, and you decided to play by them, but it's all made up. All of the expectations, all of the regulations, all of the rules and conditions, they're all made up by somebody somewhere. So you may as well make it up yourself and make it right. Because there's no need to sit in somebody's make-believe fantasy that doesn't work for you.
No.
And that starts with your words and the way that you fucking talk to yourself. And that's why we're doing this episode.
I think one of my favorite, combats to that is whenever you say, that's my best friend. Right? I'm talking to my best friend like that.
Yeah.
And that's shit.
Yeah.
If I wouldn't say it to her, no.
Yeah.
And I am my own best friend.
As you should be.
That's awful.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And
I hate that.
consequently, if you can't be a good friend to yourself, not only will other people not be able to be a good friend to you, but you also won't be able to be a good friend to them.
Yeah.
Because you have no concept for it, because you can't do it for yourself.
You don't understand why someone else would.
Exactly.
Just don't respect that person now.
Because you don't respect yourself. Bam. Mic drop. Again, we're not doing that because these mics are connected to tables. Another reason, and I think probably the most impactful reason that language is so important is because communication alters our perspective. Psychology and other fields of knowledge have suggested that the power of language goes beyond emotions and can impact how people perceive the world. This is something that I swear by. I 100% believe that the words that you put out are spells. That's why it's called spelling. Even so little as "you're so cute today." Now you are cute. Because I said it. Because I put it out in the world, it exists. And because someone else heard it, now she thinks you're cute too. Now guess what? You're fucking cute. And now 2 people think it, 2 people believe it, you're bound to believe it. And it goes so far as like if I tell this plant, you look like trash. That plant's probably gonna wilt soon because I just talked shit to it. I mean, it'll probably take a while and a lot more shit
Say something
talking.
nice.
She's beautiful. I love your colors.
She was lying.
She's just kidding.
Now
guys.
she's super serious. He loves you.
That's a joke. Now I love you. So there is an idea known as linguistic relativity, which is a very heavily scientifically backed theory that hypothesizes that language influences the way people think. An article, again from the Bonn Institute, called "The Power of Language: How Words Shape Thoughts and Emotions." They go on to state that because of this, the linguistic influencing the way people think, it is therefore not surprising that language is often instrumentalized politically. For example, mostly through what is known as framing. This refers to a framework of associations and interpretations that accompany terms. Frames often describe a situation or problem, but they also implicitly provide a plausible reaction to it. So one of the examples that they gave was the German word Flüchtlingswelle, which just means a wave of refugees, is one example. From 2015 onwards, this word was often used to describe the refugee movements that largely emerged as a result of the escalating war in Syria. The term was used by various parties and media that certainly did not always have interior motives. However, this does not change the effect of such a term, which presumably causes many media consumers to visualize masses of people rushing in like a wave, again and again, and in other words, a force of nature which one is powerlessly exposed to and finds threatening. What is to be done in the face of such a wave? For example, the obvious association is to build dams and protective walls. And so when we stereotype negatively and associate this kinds of movements with things that do frighten people, we are thus making them scared of the movement. So are there people coming into the territories because of this war? Absolutely. Is it an unstoppable wave of people that are going to ram down your house? No. These are people just like you, just like your family, who need protection in the time of war, and that's the way it should have been framed. This wave of refugees is a way to dehumanize. It's a way to get people to divide and conquer and to pick on someone else. So that's why people are suggesting very accurately, I think, that the way that we frame things colors our perspectives because of things like this. And it's very, very obvious in American politics.
Ow.
We'll just leave it at that. We will
No
just leave it at
examples
that.
for this one?
No examples for this one. We can see this linguistic relativity thing again also in the Christian nationalism movement. Did you know that the term "under God" in our Pledge of Allegiance was actually introduced in 52? Yeah.
Not like 1952?
1952.
Jesus.
Christian nationalism started in the 50s. The slogan "One Nation Under God" was introduced in 52 to pit Christian Americans against godless communists. Because that was during the whole Soviet thing, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
What did it say before?
It was the same thing, it just didn't say "under God."
Oh, okay.
Yeah, "One Nation Under God." Yeah. Yeah, so, and they do it now, too, because, like, I don't know about you guys, but I grew up, and it was a bad thing to not be a Christian.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
People were like, "Oh, well, you're just going to hell if you're not a Christian," and I'd be like, "Well, I don't really even think that's a real place," and they'd be like, "Oh, well, you're definitely going there then," and I'm like, "Well, show me, I guess, because, like, I don't..." So, and it's definitely in the sense that, like, now you're a heathen if you're not a Christian, and turns out that started in the 50s. The boomers and their fucking wars, right?
Enough said.
So as far as along with perspective, communication also alters our responsibility, also alters our idea of who's responsible. For example, the vase broke versus cat broke the vase. One allows us to assume ambiguity, right?
Mhm.
The other one seems intentional.
Some would say. It's aggressive.
Okay, so now we've done the research. Let's get personal. How do you guys feel about your power of language now that we've gone through this?
I'm going to be very honest.
Okay.
I have an aversion to believing it. I do believe it, but I have this aversion to it, I think, because of the church that I grew up in that said that our words had power over everything, which put a lot of pressure,
Right.
you know? And learning that I don't control everything, but there is a balance between that what I do say will affect everything,
Right.
but that I'm also not responsible for everything.
Absolutely.
So, like, my immediate thought is no, but the elevated moving towards my highest self
There we go.
is like, yeah. And you need to just get okay with it. But I do work on it, though. I really am like, no, this is the right way. You were just wrong for a while.
And that's okay. A lot of us are wrong for a long time. Yeah. But I do think that at least having the thought and being able to consciously at any point be like, even if it's retrospectively, be like, that probably wasn't the right thing to say.
Mm-hmm.
Well, next time you might catch yourself before it comes all the way out your mouth.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Next time you might not even think it. And
Yeah.
then you'll be so surprised. And then 5 years later, you'll be like, I am a new me.
Really?
The bitch previously could never. This is something that I feel like I've been working on extra hard as well, because I'm going to say the phrase I always hated having my parents say to me, but as I'm getting older, I know, as I'm getting older, I'm starting to notice that when I complain all fucking day long, I am miserable. And you know who I attract? Other fucking complainers. And you know what I don't want to do? Listen to other people complain because I don't give a fuck about their problems.
Mm-hmm.
So I have actively tried to get myself to be like, you will complain only to yourself. You will not voice that.
That's good.
You will not voice that.
Is it getting easier, do you feel? Or is this a new?
It is getting easier.
Okay.
It's getting weirder though,
Okay.
because now I've started to like turn them into jokes rather than complaining to myself. I like crack jokes at myself to other people's expenses.
Mm.
And I started laughing out loud to them. And people find that weird. They don't really like that. They're like, what are you laughing at, Rick? And I'm like, I'm hilarious. Just appreciate that.
You don't want to know.
You literally don't want to know.
But
I'm
it's fun.
roasting you.
Yeah.
You're a delightful specimen, though. Go on about your day.
Something that I've had to work on lately is being mindful with the words I choose that exit my mouth around my child. Yeah, because we have a little. I'm living in an echo chamber. Let me tell you what. She repeats everything all the time,
Oh,
and it's
no.
only the things you don't want her to repeat.
That's
Like,
hilarious.
oh shit, that is used all the time for her. I'm like, oh.
She's
Where
just
did you
walking
learn
around the
that?
house. Oh shit. Oh
Oh,
shit.
yeah. And she'll hear it and like be reminded. She's like, oh, I do have that word in my vocabulary.
Oh, I liked that
Yeah,
one.
she's like, oh, yeah, okay. Or like, the lovely little F word.
Oh,
Oh.
that's fun.
That's been once or twice. And I'm like,
Is she using it correctly?
She is. Like, she's using the words correctly, so I can't be mad. And I
Oh, girl.
use them, so I'm like, I really can't be mad. So I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, I guess it's time for me to stop saying these things
Yeah.
out loud.
Mm. Bummer.
Yeah, that's the one. That's one of the reasons I refuse to have kids.
I would raise a sailor.
No, absolutely. And I would be in the principal's office every fucking week.
Yeah. And it's just like, I don't know what you want from me.
hard.
It's not going to stop.
I'm like, should I just homeschool?
Yeah, like,
She's funny. What am I supposed to do? I can't punish her. It's funny.
You know what you should do?
Huh.
Teach her the curse words in another language. That way she can appropriately use them, but no one can really call her out on it.
Don't worry, we've got some uncles that are already on that.
There you
Oh,
go.
good.
There you go. Because that could work in a few situations. You
But
might
it-
get the one random hair where someone knows what you're saying, but just don't choose Spanish. Because
That's, yeah. Anything else.
yeah, because
Anything
I feel
else.
like that's like what the next most common in America.
That's fair. That's what she's learning.
Yeah. No, we need another one. We
You need, like,
Cantonese
Yeah,
or German
yeah.
or something. Like,
We'll work on it. You know what? I'll learn a new language for her.
man, what is it? Fucking, there are apps for that now.
That's
Yeah.
true. Duolingo. Not
Duolingo.
sponsored.
But could be.
Maybe.
Could be.
Hit us up. I like the little owl.
He's kind of
pretty
cute.
funny. Oh.
Speaking of another language, the thing that I think is the most fucking weird in our current, I mean, every generation has their own, but it's trend talk, for lack of a better word. I made this up. My own lingo, trademarked by Rick. Trend talk.
Yeah.
It's the currently period.
Slay mama.
Yeah.
Queen.
Riz. I'm
Yeah.
like,
Okay.
do you need new pants? Is that what that means? I'm very confused.
Oh, because it sounds like whiz.
It sounds like jizz.
Oh.
I was
Doesn't our
thinking
brains go
whiz
two different
too.
ways?
I was thinking whiz. I had no idea what you were about to say. I had
You're just
no
like-
idea.
Baffled.
It just sounds inappropriate. It just sounds
It does now.
It is
Yeah.
probably inappropriate.
And it was
to
already a
little kids.
word. Like
well, charisma. Right? I know.
charisma.
But there
Riz.
was no. I
Oh,
Riz,
they changed
charisma.
okay, shut up.
No.
You did not.
Please cut this out.
No.
No, absolutely not.
I literally thought it was a bunch of kids making shit. Do you know about like? Do you know that they just say random shit? I'm like, what are you saying?
Yes,
I thought that was one of those random things that
I
they did.
literally have two 14-year-old brothers right now, and I don't understand them when they talk.
No.
Can we talk about what the fuck is this? Okay, we can cut this out. What the fuck is Skibidi Toilet Riz?
I don't know.
know either.
I don't know.
What? Should we look it up before
Maybe
we even
it's,
post
like
it?
super inappropriate.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I know I'm
Who's got
getting
a phone
old
on
because
them?
I'm just like I don't even care to learn. I don't even care. I'm like, okay, take your devil language out of here. Like, I don't care. I'm not gonna learn it.
Yeah, it's just, it sounds like we're all just shouting passcodes at each other to like some
Truly.
forbidden society. We're all just like, do you know the passcode?
Ew.
Okay, what is
It's
it?
literally it's a cartoon.
Ew, why is it coming out of a
Don't
toilet?
know.
Is it an
It's a
AI
web
thing?
series
Oh.
created by
I
a
feel
random
uncomfortable.
guy. What does it mean? A person obsessing over an inconsequential thing or problem.
And what's it called?
Skibidi Toilet.
Skibidi
Skibidi Toilet.
Mm-hmm.
And say the meaning.
What?
Say
Look at
the
us
meaning one more
dissecting
time.
this fucking.
What is it?
The meaning is a person obsessing over an inconsequential thing or problem. We're learning new things every day.
Skibidi Toilet.
That's what this episode's gonna be called.
I will never say that. It says, why do kids say that?
The red dye 40.
It's the gushers. It's a random reference meaning bad or maybe meaning nothing at all. Oh, okay.
It could be
It's
anything.
It's the maybe nothing at all for me.
Okay, it's not typically considered appropriate for children, but I think that's saying the YouTube series that they shouldn't have even been watching that.
Well, I'm not surprised by children finding things that they're not supposed to on YouTube.
Yeah.
And I'm not surprised. If anyone can find anything on YouTube, it's kids nowadays.
Oh, for sure. There's been some crazy shit coming up lately. Even on the YouTube kids.
Man, the worst
Yeah.
from my time was Two Girls, One Cup.
Oh.
I feel like things have gotten so much worse since then.
Like,
Yeah.
that was literally the most explicit thing on the internet.
Mm-hmm.
Well, on
Besides-
the
yeah.
regular internet.
That's like-
like,
yeah.
Got to clarify the regular.
yeah, the regular internet. That's wild.
Mm-hmm.
So, what did you learn?
What did I learn? That talking down on oneself is detrimental to everything. Because once you believe it, everyone believes it. So, like, you think you're a piece of shit, everyone's going to think you're a piece of shit.
Mm-hmm.
You've convinced yourself, you're going to convince others.
Yep.
By your actions, not only just words,
Mhm.
you know? Yeah, that's what really
Period.
stuck out to me.
Fuck off.
Period, point blank.
Slay
Slay mama.
queen.
Okay, see, but this is why, you guys, write it down. This is why growth and healing is so important.
Mhm.
The bad news bears is that all living beings, our first language is energy.
Mhm.
And that energy manipulates our words and vice versa, right? So if you're saying, I'm a loser, I'm a loser, I'm a loser, you're thinking, I'm a loser, I'm a loser, I'm a loser. And your energy is radiating, I'm a loser, I'm a loser, I'm a loser. And people, when they come in contact with you, they're hearing, I'm a loser, I'm a loser, and they're like, where the fuck's that coming from? And then they get closer to you and then they talk to you and you say, I'm a loser. And they say, oh, who's this guy?
Mhm.
Ding, 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 loser radar. And that's why it's so important that we fixate on these things, because other people will pick up on that. My favorite, absolute favorite quote, and I will probably get it tattooed somewhere, maybe on my ass, why not, is a Ralph Waldo Emerson quote. What you are shouts so loud in my ears that I cannot hear what you say.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Not what you do, not how you behave. What you are shouts so loud that I can't hear what you say.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I want everyone to take away from this, is that your words matter not only because they allow you to express yourself, not only because they allow you to persuade people into buying your product, not only because they allow you to have a cult-like following among the masses, but because they express your energy, but because they reveal your identity. They become who you are at some point. And if you are just constantly lying all the time to people, to yourself, to the mirror, then you are lies. You are a liar. That is just who you are. But if you're constantly seeking connection and vulnerability and open communication and understanding, then you are those things. You are the embodiment of love and understanding. And that's the end goal here. That's what we want our words to reflect. I'm fucking trying.
Yeah.
And you should be too at home.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so another thing I think that is very important when we talk about language, and everyone fixates on this, and I think I want to go down the rabbit hole. Tone.
Yeah.
Yeah, what? Go ahead.
Well, tone affects me a lot.
In what sense?
Like, it can be conveyed in multiple different ways. I know sometimes it doesn't mean that way, but, you know, trauma responses, like, you're talking to me like I'm stupid, when in reality, they could not be talking to you that way. It's just like how I'm perceiving it and how I'm taking it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'll bring it up to my partner. I'll be like, why are you talking to me like that? And he's like, what are you talking about? And I'm like, no, you like, and he's like, I don't think you're stupid. That's not what's happening right now. I'm like, oh, okay. My bad.
You promise?
Sorry about that. I just had a little moment.
Kat, what's your hot take on tone?
Oh, the thing I got in trouble for the most
As a
in
kid.
like, yeah, elementary, middle school, high school, tone.
Yeah.
And I bet that's why it affects me so much. Like, constantly being ridiculed
Oh.
with like how the way you speak. So it's like, okay, if someone speaks to me this way, that's what they mean. Like,
Yeah.
trying to like read between the lines.
Mhm.
And, like, there's nothing to read.
Yeah, like they're saying what they mean.
Yeah,
And
they're
you're
saying
like,
what they mean.
no,
Sometimes,
they're
though.
not.
Yeah, exactly.
And this is where nuance comes
Deciphering.
in. Because while I agree that tone is important,
Mhm.
because it sometimes will convey a hidden undertone meaning, right? Like sometimes you'll say yes, but your tone says, I'm irritated, I don't want to do this. And so you can understand that. But at the same time, tone may convey a message that adds to the cake, but is not the entirety of the cake.
Mhm.
Like, if I say yes begrudgingly, you may know I'm irritated and I don't want to do this, but I'm still saying yes. And it's up to you to decide, oh, well, am I being a burden at that point? Or is it their choice to say yes and they are choosing to help me even though they don't want to because they love me so much? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's important, but it needs clarification. Because the thing that I always got on, my mom, whenever we were growing up, she would always, whenever we would come to her, Mom, what?
Yeah.
If she'd said yes in the same tone, I would have been a lot more willing to come up to her.
Yeah.
I've already noticed that with my child. She does it. She's like, what? And I'm like, oh, you're 2 years old.
Yeah.
Whoops.
And it
Oh my
matters.
God.
Yeah.
Like, that's what she hears me say. Like, what? So yeah, it absolutely matters.
Yeah.
100%.
Because when my mom would say that, what? It means you're interrupting me. I don't want to deal with this. But if I say yes, even if it's in that tone, I'm irritated, you're interrupting me, but I'm still allowing it. Because my words say yes, even though my tone says, hurry the fuck up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I agree, tone is important, but I think sometimes the words do matter more. Because I am real bad about conveying irritation, even though I'm doing it anyways. But my irritation is not your problem. And that's why I think I get so fixated on it. My irritation is my problem. It's not your problem. What's your problem is what come out of my mouth. If I tell you yes, even though I sound pissed about it, I still have to do the thing. I still agree to it.
Yeah.
Whether I bitch and moan the whole fucking time is not your problem. It's my problem. And we live in a society of people pleasing. And that's why I think tone has become the fixation. But it's not. It's not as important as we're making it out to be. In my personal opinion.
Right.
You're wrong, sorry.
No, I mean, I think it's every situation is its own situation.
Right.
Sometimes tone matters a whole lot, like to my mom for about 10 years when I was growing up or so. That could be an example, but yeah.
And sometimes it matters not at all.
Sometimes it matters not at all.
Yeah, again, everything is nuanced. That's why one of my favorite saying is, ¿por qué no los dos? Why not both?
Why not?
Why not all three? It could be all three. So some helpful tips for all of you sibling people at home for how to be more mindful of what you say. Try all these things and then apply them to yourself and to other people. Okay, that's the important clarifying part here. 1, pause before speaking or thinking. Take a second to derail that train, especially if you get on a negative thought. But take a moment to think about what you want to say and how you want to say it. This can help you focus your thoughts and make sure you have a more measured reply. How can you match your tone of voice with your words and your actions? How can a mismatch lead to confusion or misunderstanding? Are you leaving people like Vic miserable and wondering if you're mad at them?
I'm like, what did I do? They're like, nothing. Okay. That's all
I had too many airheads.
Red 40's flowing through my veins right now.
Red 40! Make sure you are concise and direct. Try to be clear and specific and use examples to illustrate your point. We don't want to mansplain, but we do want to openly communicate.
No mansplaining.
No mansplaining. No womansplaining either. No one is...
No splaining.
Let's not belittle anyone. Or yourself. Don't belittle yourself either. Next is to reflect on your words. Consider the words you use to communicate and try to be both clear and kind. How can you use your voice to speak up? What do you need to feel more confident in voicing your thoughts? These are all very important because you need confidence in order to have a confident, to say it with your backbone, say it with the chest. That's what they say. I'm getting them all confused.
You're like,
Showing my age. Say it with your backbone. Fucking stupid. Practice mindful listening to yourself and to others. Give your full attention to the person speaking, even if it's just you, and try to understand the emotions and the intentions behind the words. How can you become a better listener and pay attention to the tone and voice of others? Again, tone is not always important, but it does add an extra little layer of meaning. Ask clarifying questions. Asking questions can help ensure that everyone understands each other and reduces the risk of mistakes. There will be less sitcoms involved in your life because everyone will understand what's going on, but that is just the cost of peace. Use body language as a clue. This is a big hint for some people. Consider how your body language and nonverbal cues might be perceived. Pay attention to the body language of the person you are speaking to. What might they be subconsciously saying to you? Always give your full attention when someone is speaking to you, and when you're speaking to yourself, focus on what you and they are saying and try not to pass judgment on it. Come to a conversation to understand and to connect, not to be right. This is my biggest tip, especially in arguments, because if we're talking, eventually we're probably going to argue. Come to the debate on the same team to understand and connect, not to be right. Because as soon as you go ego first and you're there to be right, you're already wrong. That's it. You're already wrong. Exercise consistent positive thoughts and speech. When we practice positive self-talk, we not only change our self-perspective, but we also change how we perceive the world around us. Ultimately, this grants us the ability to shape our reality and change the world for a better. That's what they call manifestation. You're welcome. So at the end of the day, my sisterly advice would be to always choose your words wisely. The effect they have on you and your community is much larger than you think, my dear. So chew that over and then come back next time so we can talk about some other real rough shit.
As for today, we love that you came to chit chat with us. Feel free to take what you need and leave what you don't. And join us in the next chat when you feel like it. Or take a break from all the talk and watch us get some actual work done on our DIY channel, only on YouTube.
Don't forget to check out our social media pages for more how-to guides and bonus footage from the previous episode. And while you're there, tell us what's going on in your world. What can we do to help?
After all, that's what a sister's for. Bye, guys.
That for the hush.
Like, I started getting really warm, y'all. Play, mama.
I hate you both. That all of human...
You said, good morning, mother.
Hi, Mom. Take your time. Get comfy.
So cute. Fine, whatever. So the bad news bears is... What else is on here? Okay, does anyone else have anything else they want to put in here?
I'm chilling.
Chillin'?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Chillin'?
And I'm like,
Nothing else?
need to get reading glasses next season. I almost said next semester. I'm like,
Close enough.
I'm a little schoolgirl. Little schoolgirl.
Let's save it for the
I'm in
OnlyFans.
college, actually.
I'm 18.
So gross. How can a miss?
And while you're there, tell us what's going on in your world. And while you're there, tell us what's